Welcome, hunters. Today, I'm excited to share a detailed breakdown of an upcoming hit validation system update in Hunt Showdown 1896. Crytek has been listening to our feedback, and they've designed some major improvements to tackle long-standing issues with hit validation and trade windows. So let's dive into what's coming and how it might change our hunts. First, let's talk about community feedback. Crytek has acknowledged that hit validation has been one of the most debated issues in our community, and they're working to improve the shooting experience by focusing on smoother trade windows. As it stands, every shot we take in Hunt has to go through a check. When we fire, the dedicated server has to validate that hit. Since the server isn't right next door, that confirmation can't happen instantly. It has to travel to the server, get verified, and then send back the result. And in the early years of Hunt, that lag led to shots being invalidated, especially if the player taking the shot had already died on the server. You might have experienced this yourself, firing a shot that felt dead on, yet no hit marker appeared, and then moments later finding yourself out of the game. Crytek found that a lot of these ghost shots were actually due to shots being deleted when the player firing them died, even if the bullet was already on its way. To tackle this, Crytek previously tweaked the system to allow around 800 milliseconds for a hit to be confirmed, which made things better, but still left room for improvement. The 800 millisecond trade window, though it aimed to create a fair buffer, especially for players with higher ping, wasn't well received by everyone in the community. For many players, this extended window felt less like fairness and more like frustration, as it sometimes led to questionable trades or delayed hit confirmations. While this approach was meant to level the playing field for those with slower connections, the extended validation time ended up causing some disconnect for players who preferred more immediate hit feedback. Up to this point, melee attacks and shooting have been handled differently when it comes to validation timing. Melee attacks didn't have a set limit on when they needed to be confirmed, so they could sometimes connect even after the attacker had died. Crytek is looking to change that and bring consistency across all forms of combat, which is great news for fair play. Here's where things get technical, but interesting. Crytek is introducing a new rule, 75 milliseconds. When your enemy dies, the server will wait for a maximum of 75 milliseconds for any last actions, like a bullet or melee hit to register. So even though they can't make this time zero, 75 milliseconds is small enough to be fair, but still long enough for the server to confirm those last-second accounts. So they're making this new rule apply to melee attacks as well, which means punches, knife swings, and all the melee hits will only register in that same short window after death. Now, this new 75 millisecond trade window is tiny compared to the previous 800 milliseconds, essentially a tenfold reduction. With that much of a cut, there's speculation that Crytek could also be tightening up on ping lock settings. This is something players have been vocal about, especially since stricter ping locks were mentioned as part of the Hunt Showdown 1896 upgrade, but haven't shown up just yet. If this update does indeed bring more restrictive ping lock settings, it could be a game changer, especially for those close quarter fights, making them feel fairer for players across all connections. Now, how does this affect trades, you may ask? Well, Crytek says this update won't eliminate trades altogether, especially for those epic long-range shots where bullet travel time comes into play. But in close quarters, this change could make those frustrating, "wait, how did I die?" moments much rarer. Now, Crytek hasn't exactly said when this new hit validation system is rolling out, but it's scheduled to come with Update 2.2. So we should see these improvements in the not-too-distant future. And once it drops, they'll be looking for community feedback to keep refining it. So stay tuned for more updates. If you're hyped for this and want to stay in the loop with all things Hunt Showdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more update, breakdowns, and guides. Thanks for watching. May the dark side ever be in your favor, and we'll see you in the mountains or the bayou.